Alright, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Champions Cup. This one, the Bristol Bears up against Bordeaux. It's a top of the table clash in this group of the Champions Cup, and there is plenty on the line for these two sides. Looking through at the way that the table sits at this point in time. We'll go like that. There we go. Bordeaux sitting 15 points. They have got themselves 3 wins from 3 with 3 bonus points intact. The Bristol Bears, after a big win up against the Bulls, they are sitting with a points differential of 62, but also 14 points on the board. So whoever wins this game, they will finish top of this group, and they put that little bit more pressure on the Glasgow Warriors, who will be going head-to-head with Saracens later on tonight. And whether or not they get the top seeding, we will have to wait and see. In terms of the other groups that have pretty much been secured, we know Leinster, the Stormers, the Harlequins, they are all confirmed in Pool 3, but La Rochelle going head-to-head with the Quins a little bit later on tonight to try and get their spot back inside of the top 4. The Bulls, they are secure for now, depending on what happens in that Scarlets versus Northampton game, although it would take a miraculous, huge victory for the Scarlets to be able to knock the Bulls down after they were able to get themselves the win over Poe just earlier on. And the round, and while we're at it, we may as well look at the other side of the draw. As you can see there, Glasgow, they are also 3 wins from 3 with 3 bonus points intact. To lose a second in that group with a massive points differential after really having a great game up against the Sale Sharks. Saracens still to play later on tonight up against Glasgow. And if they lose that game by 49 points, I believe it would be, it would mean that they drop below the Sharks, and the Sharks would get into the Champions Cup, and Saracens would be in the challenge. But that seems unlikely with the way that Glasgow have been playing. Like I mentioned, 3 wins from 3, and Bordeaux, they are in the same boat at this point in time. Those bonus points all there as well. But I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're all excited for this contest taking place. Now, whoever wins this game, especially if it is Bordeaux, have a pretty decent shot of going far in this competition. I feel like the Bristol Bears, from what we've seen in their 3 games thus far too, they can certainly make it through to quarters, if not semi-finals. And who knows, if they get a good run, perhaps could even go all the way. We have got Yarnlow in the chat. He said, hi Hamish, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. And we've got Bruce here as well. Yeah, I hope you guys are excited. We just finished the 7 side of things. We saw a couple upsets along the way there. Bordeaux come in as the favourites for this contest. The Bristol Bears, even though they are at home, they are considered as the underdogs. Hello everyone, says Annie, welcome in. Harrison is here too, as said Ola. And I thought Santiago Grondona is injured, says Katzenell. Well, he is in the starting lineup for the Bristol Bears, unless of course they've made a mistake in their lineup themselves. But no, apparently he is starting in that number 6 jersey. Will be raring to go for this matchup. Hi Hamish says, please and tease, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Currently, I will mention in terms of the comparison between these two sides, currently in their respective competitions, we look here at the top 14. Bordeaux find themselves in 4th. A lot of crucial points just around the corner in that competition. Toulouse and Pau, they will be playing off next weekend, which could be an absolutely incredible fixture. Bordeaux, Stade Francais, and Toulon will find themselves on the 39 points. For this Bristol Bears side, they are also in 4th. A little bit different, because if they get themselves a bonus point win by a substantial margin, they could actually find themselves maybe even in 1st place, more than likely in 2nd though, depending on the other results. So plenty to gain in the next week's competitions for these two teams as well. But they are just about to make their way out of the tunnel at Ashton Gate, getting ready to go for this contest. It should be a cracking game. Reece Zammit versus Bordeaux, says Andrew. And I'll be honest, Bordeaux in their number 15 jersey did surprise me a little bit for for Bordeaux. Not so much because he isn't a great player, but because of how well Salisi Rayasi played last week. He got himself a hat-trick in that last game. Same with Cameron Waki. And Waki got to keep his spot in the starting side. I think that's maybe the versatility of Rayasi that they're looking for off of the bench, seeing as he can also play out on the wing. They've got Joey Carberry off the bench as well. No specialist halfback, I don't believe, in this one, unless... No, I don't think they have a specialist halfback in this scenario. So it will be interesting to see what they do there if there is any sort of injury. I assume that Carberry would fill in there. Squad rotation before the 5 Nations. Says, I am Nutty and hi Hamish, late night in Christchurch. No idea how you're going to make it to your concrete pour. Says Studs Rays. I think it will just be powering through, to be fair, because the good news is it's early enough in the morning that it's still considered kind of daytime for myself, if that makes sense, because of what time we woke up. Like, I slept through most of the day Sunday, so I guess yesterday for us here in New Zealand. But, yeah, hopefully it all goes smoothly. It should do it. It's not too bad of a pour. And Bristol can do it, says Jeff, in 1 minute. Says Harrison there. And also we have got there, did Zammit play in kind of football union since the NFL? He has played a little bit of rugby union this season for the Bristol Bears. He's also, I think, did he play some Welsh international games in November last season? The ball is in the hands of Bordeaux as this match has got underway between two great sides in this Champions Cup competition. It is the defending champs up against the Bristol Bears, who are known for their attacking style. Pat Lam has really been working on that over the last couple seasons. He's locked in long-term with them too. I'll take UBB, but hoping for a great game. If Bordeaux don't win, they could drop to third as Northampton. I'll probably beat the Scarlet, says Kahu. And come on, Bordeaux, says Haino. And there as well. So interesting that you want Bordeaux. What's the reasoning behind that, Haino? Is it because of your Super Brew predictions, or is it just you prefer that side over the Bristol Bears? We see there Pat Lam, and there is actually quite a bit of rain falling at Ashton Gate, which could lead to a lower scoring close game. Ogra about to throw it in, and it is stolen by Bordeaux for the first line out. There was the big Australian international and Adam Coleman, or ex-Australian international, I should say. He hasn't played for a while. Here's Lewis Rees-Zammit charging out to the left-hand side, tried to put the hands of the ball, or the ball in the hands of Calaveti Ravovo, but just sneaks through the fingertips. Does go into touch. Both teams are in good form, so that'll make it a great contest, says John. And yeah, the equaling factor, I have to say, is probably the weather. Unfortunately for this contest, it may not be as smooth sailing as we would have liked to see. As a Glasgow fan, come on Bristol, says Kahu. And I can't wait for the sun to come back, says Fleshin. Now we're ready to throw this one in. A lot of conversation going on between both front rows. But now, line out will now take place. There's quite a bit of chat. The first line out of the day, big attack and run forward from Palu at number 4 jersey. It's not raining though, says I'm Nutty. It's raining at the game. They just showed the wide angle and it did have the rain pouring down. That's going to be slapped back. Calaveti Ravovo tries to keep that ball alive. Looked like it was almost a 4 pass. In fact, there will be the advantage in favour of Bordeaux, and they will have themselves the first scrum of the day. UBB backline is fire. Rayasi off the bench. Yeah, the fact that Rayasi comes off a hat-trick and only gets a bench spot in this game just shows you the amount of skill and depth that Bordeaux have got. The fact that Joey Carberry, he was a starter in the URC. He hardly gets that starting opportunity unless they are playing up against someone that they feel like they can go experimental with. It's a very good finisher of the game, though. Now ready for the first scrum of the contest, 3 minutes in. Winning Super Rugby, I'm tired of the URC, says Skat Skadell. It is less than a month away from the start of the Super Rugby competition. Martin Pagerello, Italian international, going to feed this ball in. And that one looks like the front rows have collapsed on that far side, but the penalty will be awarded to Bordeaux. Now, they have chased bonus points in every single game that they have played, and that mindset has actually been what we've seen from the Bristol Bears too. I have a feeling they'll kick this one for the corner rather than going for the 3. Not going to lie, I need the Chiefs to fix up and win the Super Rugby, says Haino there. So that would be for your Super Brew as well, is it? Now ready for this line out. Maxime Lemouth. Ready to throw this ball in 15 metres out from the line. Bordeaux, they're looking well settled at the moment. They get a free kick against them, though, in the line out. They've actually gone down early. Okay, the receiver left the line out early is the call there from Nika Amushakeli. I thought initially that Bristol Bears may have been penalised for playing the man early in the line out, but it was in fact the player leaving it. Gives Bordeaux penalty against them. In fact, it might have been the free kick against them. Sorry, Rob Penny going back to back unless he gets AB's job. And cook on Bristol. Says Kahu, so now line out throw for Lemouth once again. And come on, Stormers. Oops, sorry, wrong game. Says Bruce, you seem to do that every week, Bruce. Storm is always on the mind. Would be an ice bath up here, but at least it's not dark at 3 now, says Fleshin. Now, well stolen by the Bristol Bears. So that is now one line-out steal for both of these sides in the contest. Harry Randall under pressure. Still manages to keep it just on the side, or at least it was on the side of the Bears up until Bordeaux win themselves the penalty and the breakdown. Frustration from the Bears prop as well, who has thrown the ball at the opposition. Is there any live streaming to watch it? For me, I'm watching on EPCR TV here in New Zealand. But I think it depends on what country you're in. Depends on your broadcasting options for these matches. Good kick towards the sideline again, about 10 metres out for the line out. I support the Chiefs in Super Rugby, although I don't watch it that much. They were always my second team in Super Rugby after the Bulls. Waratahs was my third team. Chiefs on the task to win would be great. And the Highlanders last one when South African teams were still present. So here's Kitsenel. Now rolling maul here. This one's moving to the sideways direction, and there is going to be a penalty advantage now in favour of Bordeaux. Got so many dangerous attacking threats in the side. Adam Coleman throwing himself at the line again. There is a map of broadcast on 2 Cents channel. Says I am nutty, and also on the Champions Cup website as well. They do have the list of broadcasters with where to watch. But now going off to the left-hand side. Lamothe shovels it on. Now Mofana passes on the outside to Biel Biarray. It did bounce into his hands and then continue bouncing past him into touch. I'll go back for another penalty though in favour of Bordeaux. They have to go right back across the field for the penalty at line-out time. It was actually that early engagement from the Bristol Bears when trying to defend it. Currently 6.5 minutes through this contest. This is, once again, a good opportunity to add 3, but that just doesn't seem to be the mindset that this Bordeaux team have. They know how crucial that number 1 qualifying spot could be. They are the defending champions, so if they can get any sort of advantage in their favour, they will well and truly take it. Been there, done that, rather have some warmth nowadays. Says Bruce. Now line out 5 metres out from the line, the Bears. Oh. Okay, they wanted to throw the line out, but Lamothe didn't actually have a ball. It was going to be very tricky to be able to play that line out without the thing that they are trying to jump for. Now ready to throw it in here, Bordeaux. Often like sending Cameron Wacky into the air. This time they send up their number 8, Mathieu. And, another knock on there. Bordeaux, their line-out hasn't quite functioning as of yet. I think it is Carlos Sadie, the South African, has knocked that ball on. And it is going to be now the scrum feed for the Bristol Bears, only 5 metres out from their line. Looks like there's a bit of frustration, though, for this Bordeaux team as they continuously turn down 3s. And then they end up making that next error. South Africans dropping the ball typical. Says, I am nutty. You seem to be in a very, I don't know what your mood is today, I'm nutty, but you seem like more in a troll mood than normal. If something happened. 8 minutes into the contest, Bristol Bears 5 metres out from the line. Harry Randall feed this ball in, and I believe the tactic here for the Bristol Bears will just be get that ball in and then get it out. Good defence so far, says Kahu. And yeah, the Bears, they are not normally a side that are praised hugely because of their defence, to be honest. Like, they do concede a lot of tries, but they often score more than they concede. I see the Bulls and Lions playing both on Friday. Says Haynos, they are. And sadly, I won't actually be able to cover either of those games due to being away on this Saturday morning. But I will be able to cover that South African derby between the Sharks and the Stormers. It's because I am sober. That statement in its own right is a bit concerning, isn't it? And hi from France. And go UBB, says Scorp. You're one of the favourites to go on to win this competition, wanting to go back-to-back Bordeaux. Bordeaux back-to-back does have a little bit of a ring to it, to be fair. And Samo would go to the sun, says Fleshin. Ready to throw this one. Lamothe does nicely. Martin Page-Rello now back across to Jalabert. That ball's going to be dropped by Bordeaux. Few errors coming on both sides at the moment, but Bristol Bears now in possession around the halfway line, looking for the kick in behind. believe that was actually their captain, Fitz Harding, going for a bit of a cross-kick attempt. Going to be claimed by Mathieu inside of their own 22. Bordeaux. Bristol putting on the pressure, getting their hands on the ball, and they win the penalty too. Right. Now what do they do? Oh, that answers that question. Quick tap taken by Harry Randall trying to spin through. And they'll only be 2 metres out from the line. Advantage. Aldred goes over. And that is the early try for the Bristol Bears 10 minutes into the contest. And that is quite a statement from the home side at Ashton Gate. The crowd are going wild at the moment. They have got a lot of hometown support for this side. But the fact that they held off Bordeaux's continuous attacks, I wondered whether or not Bristol might consider just going for a three-pointer, get them something on the board. But instead they went quick tap. They earned that penalty advantage. And then from there they just kept on working and got themselves a try on the short side. Taking points. An opponent's half is a must in this weather, says Jeff Hay. And equally Hamish Bordeaux. Says Roof, although now we've seen the early try from the Bristol Bears. Harry Randall, geez, he got ragdolled in that breakdown, but then O'Gray off the side, and he also had Alice Genge with him, so using some pure power to drive themselves over. Let's go Bristol as a Glasgow fan, come on. And tell your wife you are her family now. Says Bruce, but that kick has missed away to the side for Tom Jordan. He doesn't often miss too many, but the score sits 5-0 for Bristol. They'll be chasing that bonus point no matter what from this contest. With where Northampton sit at the moment. 1 second, we'll go like that. We'll go like that. There we go. Northampton are sitting on 11 points. And they are expected to win relatively comfortable up against Scarlet. So Bristol are chasing 2 bonus points from this game minimum, which would mean 4 tries. And if they were to lose, being within 7. Both very much doable in this contest. And really the bare minimum. How can you not love Genge? Says Big Rig, he just throws the body on the line, and he did get the biggest cheer out of this whole Bristol Bears lineup when they were talking about them before the game. You know how they do that run through of the teams. He got a big cheer early on, and maybe it was because he was just the first name, but he is probably one of the more notable ones for the Bristol Bears. Yes, they've got Lewis Rees-Zammit this season, but Genge has been there for a while. And Randall did awesome there, really caught UBB out. Says Thuds Race. He's just quick, wasn't he, Harry Randall? And he's the type of young player who doesn't care if he gets absolutely smashed. He will still take on the risk. That's a big collision there. No slow tackle made by Jalabert. Now back to Lewis Rees-Zammit, who will look to kick this one downfield. Found a bit of open space. Louis Bielbiaré controls it at the back. Passes across to Buros. Low tackle on him. Now trying to go short side for Martin Page-Rello. Big skip pass to Mo Fana, who found himself out on the wing. Razors firing feels like we win almost every game. What do you mean almost? Says Big Rig. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a new coach if you lose 1 or 2 matches early on. Because you wonder whether or not they will get the sack as well before even getting to that World Cup. Little chip attempted in behind from Bristol with Lewis Rees-Zammit chasing after it. Page-Rello's back to cover and gives it to Jalabert, who now runs right up the middle. The dangerous French fly half has Louis Bielbiaré with them, and they will score. That is the Bordeaux effect of a counter-attack, and that is now them on the board for the first time in this contest. But Bielbiaré, but a lot of credit needs to go for Jalabert there, the way that he was able to break the line and get the try or a try assist for his team. Razor, they were too quick to boot him out, says Ruth. And Bordeaux count, try, says Ruth. Yeah, 1 try apiece for these 2 sides, but that is an immaculate run from Jalabert. He also realised the danger, or at least realised the space, because of the fact that Lewis Rees-Zammit, he chased after his own kick. He was down the field, which left a gap in behind for Bordeaux to be able to run through. It's the vision of the number 10 that created that opportunity. We got there, come on, says Roof, and Bielbiaré. And also, vision, says Thuds Ray's exactly right. He saw the space and he just ran straight through it. And a chance to add the additional 2 for Page-Rello. He has missed away to the left-hand side. That is going to keep the score even now between these 2 teams, 5 points to 5. Which, to be fair, this has been a pretty good first 14 minutes. There was always the concern that as soon as we saw how much it was raining, that it could have ended up being a much lower scoring contest between the 2 teams. But both are just going attacking minded. So I have a feeling we're going to see about 60 points between these 2 sides if it continues in this fashion. Your coaches alludes and John's quicker than... we're not going to finish that one. We're going to get there as well. Good game so far. Says Kahu. Bristol Bears claiming that one. 40 metres out from the line now. Looking for the shuffle was Tom Jordan. As in the Bordeaux attacking coach Irish. Says I am nutty. I'm not actually too sure who the attacking coach is for Bordeaux. All I know is both of these sides love scoring tries. They also do concede quite a few, but they score often more times than they concede. So, it's an ugly collision between two Bears players at the back. I believe it was Randall and Noah Hewitt there. Crashed into each other and actually still put the ball into touch. 55 apiece, high score, says Ruth. And hopefully it is a low-scoring game. Bonus point is key, says Kahu. It looked like Harry Randall had that one almost under control and then collided with Noah Hewitt. Game of the weekend so far. Always enjoy some defence too, though, says Suds Race. Yeah, see, I have no idea what to expect for La Rochelle Harlequins, because La Rochelle have gone stacked for their team. Harlequins have gone with a pretty decent side as well, but they're considered about $8 underdogs. But they scored 61 points last week with a similar lineup. So they're obviously banking on La Rochelle's defence to really hold up against the Quins. Bristol will do this. They can defend Lamb, or they can't defend. Lamb doesn't acknowledge that defence as an option, says Fleshin. Now passed across, all missed pass from Bordeaux. Going to be grubbered for from Damien Pinot. Gets it down into the Bristol Bears 22, claimed here by Noah Hewitt. I have a feeling Quins win, not many changes, says Haino. And also Lyon 14, Exeter 7 so far. Gee, so that's a high scoring start. Wait, Lyon 14, Exeter 7. Who's Cardiff playing? When are they in action? Yeah, Chiefs are playing Cardiff, Lyon playing Benetton. So I assume you're saying 14-0 Lyon, 7-0 Exeter, right? Now rolling this one back, Harry Randall. Be putting this one up high. And Bordeaux have to get their rhythm going here. And Lyon versus Benetton. And Lyon 14-3 crazy, says Haino. Yeah, plenty of matches taking place at this stage. There's two matches overlapping at 4:15 as well. Exeter 7 up, says Fleshin. That one's going to be kicked downfield by Randall. And big driving tackle on Buros. Great effort there from the Bristol Bears in the breakdown as well. But Bordeaux getting quicker with protecting that possession. Know how dangerous that counter-attack of the Bears can be. Now stepping nicely. The Portier almost going through 40 metres out from the line. Now Paige Rello running it sideways. Goes to Mofana. Passes to Pinot. Bit of open space for the elusive winger. I wish Supersport showed more Challenge Cup, says Haino. Now Gelebert goes back across. Are they showing this game, Haino, out of curiosity, or is it only South African games that they show? Now kicked in behind from Bristol after the knock-on from Bordeaux. Kicked into touch from Louis Biarray. Not getting a huge amount of distance on it either. Gets a jeer from the crowd. Tell you what, these two sides are going to be puffed by half-time. We see it there. Biarray, he has got his hands on his knees, slumped over, breathing very heavily at the moment. All Champions Cup games, but mostly South African Challenge Cup games, says Haino. Did you see what happened with the Lions, Haino, in the end? The draw. I can't remember. Was that a game that I predicted as a draw, or was it just... What was the game that I predicted as a draw? Did I predict two draws for this round? I can't even remember what my predictions were. Here's Viliami Mata running it for the Bristol Bears. Actually, quite a few players who were playing in this contest who used to be in the URC. Viliami Mata being one of them. Joey Carberry off the bench used to be a Munsterman as well. Penalty goes the way of Bordeaux. And the Lion says Ruth, and Lion bottled it, says Haino. Well, the thing is, if you look at the online score, or table, it says that the Lions made it through, but the Dragons actually finished above them, which does mean that they narrowly missed out. That one's put into touch. And there, a clear lift in the breakdown, I think it was. Just showing that pace and power of Viliami Mata, the big Fijian. And we'll see it now. Okay, it definitely wasn't a lift. It was just in off the feet. They didn't go for a drop goal, going for a try. when they're literally 5 metres away from the try line. Were they under advantage or anything? No, they must not have been if they keep going. Knock on here from Bordeaux at line-out time. That is about their 4th error. Let me check what our picks was, says Haino. See, I think that's the other thing. We're given so many different predictions of games, you forget who you've actually backed in all the matches. Only sitting 5-5, a quarter of the way through this contest. So the question mark, ladies and gentlemen, will Lyon versus Benetton or Exeter Chiefs versus Cardiff be the better game? Because I do have the option of having a second screen watching the other game, or one of them. More drop balls than puberty, says I am nutty. But yeah, I think that Exeter Cardiff's expected to be closer, but then Lyon were expected to lose up against Benetton a little bit, but then Benetton on the road have been lackluster. So, yeah, could go. Honestly, I'll probably just switch between all of them. But now the ball in the hands of the Bears. Shifting this one away to the right-hand side. Tom Jordan almost breaking the line. Now kicking it in behind Harry Randall. Couple men chasing after it, but well covered at the back by Bordeaux. It's Damien Pinot. It's actually off his wing. More so on this near side of the field. Del Portier. It almost turned into a rolling maul for him. And Cardiff and Exeter, two good teams. Says Kahu. And slippery ball. How's the weather there? It was pouring down earlier on in the contest. I think it is still raining. Cameron Waukee makes the tackle on Lewis Rees-Zammit. Who would have thought the Dragons, says Fleshin? Well, to be honest, when I saw the Google version of the Challenge Cup scoreboard or the table, it had the Dragons in 5th. And I thought, oh, who's Fleshin going to support now in the competition? But then I looked at my app and it actually had them in there, so that was quite good news. Nice pass on the outside there. Bordeaux just building up phases, building the passes out wide, and then the try again for Louis Bielbiere. He's already got himself 2 in this game, but it's every time they get it out to his wing inside of the 22, it looks like something's about to happen. He is still really fatigued, though, by the looks of it. Pat Lam, a bit nervous in the coaching box. We're going to see it here, the counter-attack, just a drop ball from Bernard Jansi Funds Rensburg. And from there, the counter-attack of Bordeaux is just so dangerous that it can score from absolutely anywhere. You went Saracens to win. I think that one was just because of the fact that I wanted it to be different. I think I did clarify that I thought that Glasgow should win, but I went with the brave prediction. What did I go with? You might be up to this game, maybe. This one has gone over from Jalabert as well, making the score now 12 points to 5 in favour of Bordeaux. Horrible rain is supposed to give England a home advantage, says Big Rig. Showing that counter-attack. Martin Page-Rello, the man with the assist this time. It just shows how dangerous that 9 and 10 combination is for Bordeaux. They are involved in a lot of the setups of certain tries. Going to be kicked off by the Bristol Bears once more, going high and down into the Bordeaux 22. Nicely taken by Mofana. Less mistakes, the other team will break, and Bears flat-footed attack, just shoveling the ball behind themselves. Ouch. Says Thuds Raising. You can't afford to do that up against Bordeaux, because they will just hit you. And I think that was proven just before how, it took, 1 or 2 passes before they were in an attacking position to go on to score. That's a decent kick downfield from Jalabert. Will now be Bristol's line out. Can't believe we're 24 minutes through this game. It has been going very quickly. I think that's also just because of the tempo that both sides are playing throughout the match as well. Ogra throws it in. Nicely taken this time by the Bears. 40 metres out from the opposition line. Here's Viliami Mata. Managed to roll that one back to Harry Randall, who looks towards the short side. Little pop pass up to Ellis Genge. And again, short side, 2 in a row. But this time a drop ball from Santiago Rondona. It has gone backwards into the hands of Noah Heward. Crowd are cheering big time now. Ellis Genge does hit the ball up. I can't tell if the crowd are cheering because they want a penalty for Bristol or they're just happy that they're on attack. I think it's the second one. I think they're chanting Bristol now as well, but going off to the left-hand side, Mushakeli says the ball went back. Randall. Oh, that one hasn't. That one's going to be knocked on by George Kloska. And now again, the Bordeaux counter-attack, kick downfield from Jalabert. Does find the ball. The hands of Lewis Rees-Zammit round the halfway line, trying to cut through. Manages to get through one. Can't quite sneak through the next tackle attempt, though, of Palu. And that's another drop ball from the Bristol Bears. It wasn't the best pass. And it's going to be Biarray kicking this one downfield, winning the foot race, grubbering it forward again. And he just got a bit too much on it as it goes dead. But that was almost a hat-trick there for Louis Biarray. And LBB putting manners on the Bears. Afternoon, all says Jimbo. Welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Does EPCR have replays as well, or only live streams? They do have replays of the games too. I'm not sure how long the replays stay for after the matches, but I've watched quite a few games after they've taken place. They also have highlights packages, I believe, of the games as well. And if they don't, I know that they're on YouTube anyway. My golly, I'm not wanting Bordeaux to win, says Bruce. And Wake Up Beer, says Big Rig. I got faith in you, says Big Rig. So at the moment, the way that it sits, Bordeaux would be sitting top of the table with 19 points. Bristol would get themselves the bonus point for being within 7 here. This is a hard tempo for Biarray to keep on playing, because every time there's a counter-attack, he has to run pretty much the full length of the field. And he's done it 3 or 4 times now. And while I won't be supporting the Ospreys or Cardiff, that doesn't mean I don't want them to win, though. Says Flesh, and it looks like a nice play here from the Bristol Bears, managing to retain their 22 dropout. It's a good bit of pace shown from Pedro Rubiolo. It looks like Tom Jordan may have taken a shoulder to the head in the breakdown. They may check this one. Now Bordeaux Bègles kicking it downfield. Calaviti Ravovo takes this one inside of the 22. He'd love to run it, but instead he's going to kick this one downfield. It looks like Tom Jordan has stayed down for a bit longer. Bit of a handling error at the back from Buros. I see Exeter Chiefs are leading 12-0 now. In fact, 14-0 up against Cardiff. I wanted a game this week. Oh, I watched a game this week from round 2 in December. Says Thuds Race. Okay, so they must have the replays of all of the games, you would think. Tom Jordan's still down, though. Now, the thing is, with Tom Jordan staying down, that means that they will check this. That's Munster for me, says Jimbo. We're going to see the replay of it now in the breakdown. Tom Jordan joined in. It's just whether or not he was connected with high in that breakdown. Oh, no, never mind. It was actually his teammate's boot that connected with him. I thought it was a shoulder to the head, the way that he reacted. But no, it was actually the boot of Pedro Rubiolo that ended up hitting the nose of Tom Jordan. It looks like he's got a bit of a problem at the moment. Bordeaux are on a different level. Says Dennis, they're just so quick. Like, the Bears are known as a quick side in the Premiership in terms of that counter-attacking, but just keeps on going. Ospreys Montpellier, you said a draw. That one was close to a draw, to be fair, but see, I should have picked the Lions, the Pignan as the draw one. And come on, Bordeaux, says Ruth. I worked in Wales a few times, too many Welsh there, says Bruce. A shades of Shawn Michaels, says Big Rig. He doesn't look too happy with it, Tom Jordan, at the moment. Did stay down for the 3 count. The crowd don't look too happy with the weather either, to be fair. Skelton playing in that La Rochelle game. I'll have a quick look. I think so, though. I know that Aldret's off the bench. I know that Lavani Botti is back at number 7 in that game. Skelton. No. He's not playing in that locking duo. It is Bodient and Kante Samba. Although, did he have an injury late last game? Will Skelton. Maybe that's why he's not playing. Lucky lad. Well, that lucky his nose isn't broken, and now he's not says I'm nutty. We do see that change being made here. I see Tom Jordan taken off. And that will bring Sam Worsley on. Line out throw now for Bordeaux. Currently line out success. 75% for Bordeaux, 67% for Bristol. So a little bit lower than both of these sides would have liked. Having that early mistake on both parts. Now that one's going to be put high. Down to the halfway line. Slapped back by Bordeaux. But it is in the hands of the Bears now. Santiago Grondona votes for that possession. Loose ball again and trying to milk that penalty. And he does get it there for Harry Randall. That was one of those penalties that halfbacks love to win. It's against Jean-Luc Dupré. Oh, okay. Ellis Genge has just been told to pretty much go away by the referee there. He was talking to the ref. He said they're going in off their feet. And Amusha Kelly said, Ellis, you're not the captain. Like, get away. But then I think he sent his captain Fitz Harding over and he then said the same thing. And we have got about, let's go, ouch, oh dear, for that shot to the chin or to the nose of Tom Jordan. He is off the field currently. Exeter have just scored themselves a rolling ball try as well, by the way. Joseph Weber scoring it out wide. I like that, says Big Rig. Now Ogra throws it in. And stolen by Bordeaux. So that is another line out unsuccessful. That now brings, I believe, Bristol Bears, they will be down to 50% line out accuracy. I said draw in the Exeter game. Strange enough, you said Lyon to win. Says, hey, no, I just don't trust Benetton away from home. That was the only reason for it. I am going to go over and have my secondary screen as Lyon Benetton, just because at the moment Exeter are winning 19-0. I don't talk trash to the ref. Raise it with the captain, says Big Rig. 12 points to 5 in this contest. Bordeaux would need 2 more tries to get themselves the bonus point here. Currently, Benetton versus Lyon is 14-10, and Benetton are on attack once more. Now, Bristol got the ball just inside of the opposition half. That's an attack and run line from Fitz Harding. Quickly recycled. Keeping this ball moving with Jansi Funds Rensburg. Ellis Genge moving away to the right-hand side. Another handling error. Not the best day at the moment for James Williams. That is now the second time that he has put that ball down. Now Jason back. Oh, that's a huge mistake. And that is one you cannot afford to have if you're Bristol. Trying to jump on that ball, sliding through to grab it, and the mistake made. Deportier pounces. And it's another try for Bordeaux. And another try, by the looks of it, for Benetton. I think it's Malachi Fekitoa who almost scored. And that one after a couple phases. But yeah, we see it now. The mistake from Bristol again. That just leads to the counter-attacking chance for Bordeaux. It was kicked downfield from Buros. And it looked like they were going to be able to get back and cover for it. Tried to slide onto the ball. And then it is unfortunately the man who only recently made his way onto the field. And Sam Worsley who has the mistake. And then Deportier cleans it up. Bordeaux get their third. Lyon have a decent team. They just don't fire well. Says, I am nutty. Yeah, when you look through at their squad, they've actually got some very good players in their mix. Just never quite get those big wins. 17-14 down at the moment, so Benetton are now in the lead in that matchup. Yes, Bordeaux says, hey, no. Which games are you doing on Saturday? On Saturday. Is that my Saturday or your Saturday? That'll be next week's Sunday for me, right? Maybe. Yes, Bordeaux says, hey, no. Now, sitting 25 metres out from their line. I think it was LBB, whoever made that tackle, read the Bears play. That was a massive defensive play. And yeah, the thing is, they are quick enough, Bordeaux, that they get in your face and they create problems. So I'm definitely doing, oh, that's another knock on from the Bears. First knock on was the Bears, second from Bordeaux. So it is going to be a Bordeaux scrum. So this has at the moment been a pretty poor handling display from the Bristol Bears. They're so good at punishing mistakes, says Jimbo, and BB in this case being Bordeaux Bègles rather than Bristol Bears. It's a bit of a alliteration day for these two sides. We got Bordeaux play the most beautiful rugby, says Dennis. Yeah, you can understand why they won the Champions Cup with the way that they've been playing in this competition so far. Hard to get your ball with no thumbs. Why don't they have, I assume you're saying because they're bears, right? But then, like, surely your claw would get stuck in a ball if you're a bear. And that would almost be more effective than a thumb, right? But, yeah, next week, I'm definitely doing Stormers Sharks. And then, I think that may be the only game, depending on what time we get back from being out and about. Now, kicked him behind from Buros again, looking for that grubber, well controlled this time from Noah Heward. Bit of pressure in the breakdown from Bordeaux. a deflated ball can't be played. Who says? I feel like it can be deflated to a certain extent. You just can't let it get fully flat. So as long as it's in the couple phases, you're fine. Front Row Rugby had a good perspective on Razor this morning. Says Bruce. And RB is making the mistakes. Bordeaux punishing them. Only one BB. Says Jimbo. That one's going to be kicked downfield. A nice clearing one. Now Bordeaux will have themselves another line out. They are one try away from a bonus point at this point in time, sitting 17 points to 5 up. Already 33 minutes through this contest. Lyon versus Benetton also 33 minutes through. See there, Lewis Liner under a little bit of pressure from Lyon. Remember Dupont blew the ball when he caught it. What do you mean by blew the ball? Now going, oh, that's a rush defence and a half there, attempted by Santiago Rondona, but then he just let him through. Did all the hard work of shutting it down just to then not complete the tackle. That looked like it was played on the ground by Bordeaux. You'd have to hope that that was the man who was tackled and not someone else. Looks like an injury here for Martin Page-Rello too for the Bordeaux Bègles. That is a concern as they don't have a replacement halfback per se off of their bench. Bordeaux makes Saints look like babies, says Dennis. Although those two sides, they will more than likely meet down the road in this Champions Cup competition. Kicked him behind from Jalabert. Going to find the touchline, but it will go into the in-goal area and continue rolling. We'll go right back to where it was kicked from. Rear mistake from that man Jalabert. Page-Rello at the moment, he was down for a bit of time. It looks like something in the sternum or in the chest area. Looks like he's in quite a bit of discomfort just breathing at the moment. Stormers versus Sharks. Come on, Stormers practicing for next week. Nothing like an early start, says Bruce. They have just said it as well on the commentary, how they mentioned about Joey Carberry as the backup 9. It is a risk not playing a specialist halfback off of the bench. And in this case, like that's the worst possible injury that they could actually sustain in this game. Carberry hasn't taken his vest off though, so I would say he's not coming on just yet. He may not be a mile away. There's actually been a lot of high-scoring games for this 2 a.m. start time. We've had 4 tries in this game. Benetton versus Lyon have had, I think it's 4 tries as well. And then Exeter Chiefs versus Champions Cup. Oh, sorry, not Champions Cup. Exeter Chiefs versus Cardiff. They've had 3 tries, I want to say. I'm trying to find it at the moment to see if it is the case. It's in the Challenge Cup competition. Yeah, 3 tries. So all the games in the first 36 minutes have had at least 3 tries. That is going to be another drop ball from the Bristol Bears. It's happening far too often. You should be live every day, mate, but there isn't rugby on every day. So what would I do on the days that there isn't rugby? I feel like there's only so much talking I can kind of do. It would probably have to be rugby related because or else I don't do a lot else. I remember Isaac Carberry coming to Leinster. New Zealand cooking India right now. I am trying my best to avoid any sort of spoilers for that one, so be sure not to say too much more as I'm hoping to watch it after work today. Busy setting up the games for the coming weeks, says Hayno there. But yeah, I think next week we've actually only got that one live stream, more than likely, unless I decide to do the... Who's playing Monday morning? I think that's Cardiff versus someone. Cardiff versus Benetton. I'm not sure if I will end up doing that contest. Oh, in fact, no, sorry, that's actually the later game. So yeah, I think it's just Stormers Sharks for next week. Former All Black Died is here. You can become a clickbait channel, says Big Rig. Yeah, it'd be too difficult though. I feel bad if anyone clicked on a video thinking it was going to be something else and it wasn't. Like, it's bad enough on these streams having to say, yeah, we're not allowed to show the footage. Oh, Benetton just scored again. 4 tries now in that contest. And a penalty goes the way of Bordeaux at scrum time. Quick tap taken by Jalabert. They've seen a bit of a space on this right-hand side. Decided to try and make the most of it, Bordeaux. Almost looked like there was a knock-on. And in fact, that one is a huge knock-on now from Bordeaux. Let's give Bristol Bears attacking opportunity, a cooking channel. I wouldn't mind a cooking channel, to be fair. I can't cook to save myself. Like, I can do all right, but it's just really stressful to watch. So I feel like it wouldn't be like one of those relaxing ones. You know how some people, when they're cooking, you're like, wow, I feel like just sitting down in my chair and relaxing. For me, you'd be like, your kitchen's on fire, mate. You gotta take the tea towel off the stovetop. Benetton win away today. Lose next week versus Cardiff, says Hayno. And Gen's not happy, says Jimbo. And chalk and cheese, says Titanium. 2 minutes now remaining in this first half. They're talking about the first half that James William has put in for the Bears. He has also had quite a few errors, though. Sale played bad, yeah, but they were always expected to lose by a lot. You should eat Oreos and chocolate cookie with strawberry Magnum ice cream when watching highlights. Black Cats versus India. Strawberry Magnum ice cream does sound quite good. And a chocolate cookie would go all right, too, if Bristol can score before half. Says Kahu. Scrambled eggs and toast, you can manage that. Yeah, but it's still stressful to watch. We have got there at the end of the show, you get to eat some cake. I actually have a cake mold the shape of a rugby ball. So maybe one day I should try and make like a rugby ball cake. But now Bordeaux, they've been told to use it. They weren't really going anywhere there with Mathieu, so they decide now to go for the grubber. Nicely claimed by the winger here for Bristol. Now back across, Harry Randall. They have to make sure no matter what happens here for Bristol, they can't concede again. Peanut butter and jam all day long. Says Titanium, there's going to be a penalty advantage in favour of the Bears, and they do get themselves the penalty now. It's going to be for a high tackle rugby ball cake to celebrate the box winning 3 in a row, says Hano. Well, that would mean I've got 2 years to learn how to make a cake. One last spoiler, Daryl Mitchell was a tank today, says Peps Wax. Do you support the Springboks, says Crossboarding? I do like watching South Africa play. They are just complaining about that one, saying maybe Mo Farner should get something more than just a penalty against him. Okay, there's no force in it, says the referee. Sorry for spoilers, says Peps Wax. And the Sharks, says Crossboarding. I'm intrigued to see how the Sharks do next week up against the Stormers. We have got their chocolate cake is relatively easy to make. Just have your mum oversee, says I Lollipop. I feel like George would love to be there for a chocolate cake making session. He does very much enjoy a chocolate cake. Now, big run forward, offload back, nicely controlled by the Bears. Calaviti Ravovo. Now across to Worsley. Still no return of Tom Jordan in this contest. All right, he makes his way back out at halftime, or after the halftime break. We will have to wait and see. Now Ravovo, tackled by Palu. Bit of champions bias by the ref. Says Jimbo there. Does George have his own channel? Says Ano, not rugby related. But yeah, nothing like to do with sports either, actually. George would feel arousal if you search up Nano ASMR. Again, she blows kisses. Says Peps Wax. That is going to be a halftime in this contest due to the knock-on. It's been a fast-paced 40 minutes. Probably felt like 25 maximum. How did Masuku miss 3 kicks? Yeah, he doesn't normally miss Benicia Masuku. He normally does very well off the kicking tee. But yeah, halftime in this contest. Toulon have just conceded, I believe, again up against Benetton. So it goes from bad to worse for Lyon after a great start. I think I said Toulon rather than Lyon there. And crossboard, says Titan. So yeah, at the moment, Benetton are leading 24 points to 14, still with a couple minutes remaining. Oh no, not quite actually. It's going to be halftime once this kick goes over. Frantic pace suits Bordeaux better finishes, says Jimbo. And Bordeaux run the ball so quickly. Yeah, pure pace. Nutella on Magnum is a cheat code. Nutella on Magnum, but doesn't like a Magnum already has chocolate, so do you need that extra layer of Nutella on it? And the Sharks, says Titanium. Halftime already. Once again, didn't feel like 40 minutes. Don't know when that half or where it disappeared to. Lyon is a fun city. Nice old French town on the river, says I am nutty. See, if I was to ever go to France, I'd have no idea where to go. Because I feel like everyone generically goes to like Paris. But I feel like I want to go somewhere different. But I also probably won't end up in France for a very long time. Pretty sure Bristol was a second half team. Says Kahu. And Toulouse survived yesterday. Toulouse survived yesterday, says Dennis. And cooking show, a nice roast with roast potatoes, gravy. Roast veg, who's hungry. Says I lollipop. And we have got there, see you later, I'll have to go play paddle. Says Hano. Yeah, we will see you later on. You should come to Canada for the FIFA World Cup 2026. Says Pips Wox. Canada's quite far away from New Zealand, though. And KZM Boy. And then Just Being Honest, Bro, says Titanium. And we have also got the Sail Sharks, says Cross. And Sail 77 to lose 7. I hate to lose, says Cross. Well, they did very well in that game. I love Lyon, camping in the hills above the city. Gorgeous countryside. There's Jimbo there. And speaking of, speaking of Lyon and French sides in the top 14 at the moment, where Lyon sit, they are in 12th. That gap between them and Racing is 6 points at the moment. There is a huge gap between Lyon and Perpignan of the whole 18 points. It just shows how much of a difference there is between those two bottom sides. Now, relegation is a thing, so more than likely they will both be going down in the next stage. But looking through at what is to come for Bordeaux in the Champions Cup, as well as in the top 14, next game will be up against Stade Francais. That is just 7 days away. Now, I will mention the Champions Cup after the last game between Saracens and Glasgow. We will know exactly who is playing who in the round of 16. And that round has taken place, I believe, in early April. We will be covering that one on the channel too. In terms of what is next for Bristol, they have got a game around the corner up against the Exeter Chiefs. Currently, Exeter Chiefs doing very well in their contest up against Cardiff. But that one will be intriguing because Exeter don't sit too badly. The Champions Cup, it's actually 3 versus 4. Could turn into a very good match for next weekend. Whoever wins that game will be sitting more than likely in 3rd or 2nd, depending on what happens in some of the other results of the Premiership. Also, other games that are taking place for the Champions Cup today. Currently, this game between Bristol and Bordeaux is taking place. As you can see, Bordeaux coming in as favourites for this match. Harlequins, huge underdogs, up against La Rochelle just around the corner. We are going to be covering that one on the channel too, alongside Northampton versus Scarlets, which does overlap. Scarlets, the biggest underdog of the games today. And then Saracens versus Glasgow. Saracens $3 underdog, so a slightly less underdog than we see for Bristol, but Saracens are away from home up against Glasgow, who do very well at home. So we'll wait and see what happens in that contest as well. We have got there, I want to see Leinster play Bordeaux, says Dennis. Hot chips with Prego sauce. And also Nando sauce is not spicy, even the upper level of Nando sauce, says Peps. And isn't Toulouse the city of France? It's a city in France. We have got there, are you doing Sharks Stormers, who will win? So we are going to be covering that game. Stormers come in as favourites, but Sharks will have a lot of changes compared to what we saw in their last game. So I'm hoping it will be a little bit more competitive. We have got there, yes, Peps, says Jimbo. And also, you don't seem to do live streams for Gallagher Prem. Not much demand, says Studs Rays. I think it just comes down to the fact that so many of those games overlap with the URC. Like, I thoroughly enjoy watching the replays of the Gallagher Prem when I get the chance, but I just don't get the chance to do many of those games live, unfortunately. Normally, it's only into the playoff games where we get half a chance, but then I always am a bit hesitant to just do playoff games or competitions because it feels like I should have done more beforehand, if that makes sense. And we have got there, Bristol is a great city for world music. Also one of the UK's laid-back cities, 2 footy sides plus the Bears. And also more games today, the Cheetahs. Says Bruce, they are playing in the Challenge Cup. So they are taking place later on up against Racing. They are considered as big underdogs, seeing as they haven't won a game as of yet. But yeah, those games that I was showing were just Champions Cup fixtures rather than Challenge Cup 2. Northampton should thrash Scarlets. They should, but it's hard to tell. Like, they'll want second place in this group. So that is why Bristol really do need 2 bonus points from this game minimum to be able to put that pressure on Northampton to have to win big in their game up against the Scarlets. But they should win it by, I'd say, 30, maybe even more. Bonjour, Sir Hamish. Says Darren, welcome in. Are you doing a lineup on the Shark Stormers? We will show the lineups before the game does take place. And also we have got the Love Gallagher Prem, great comp. Says Studs Race. And the thing is, the Premiership's one of those ones that you can sit down on a random morning and just watch a game and it will just be thoroughly entertaining. Like, I still remember a game, I want to say it was like 3 years ago. And I can't remember the exact date of it. In fact, what I'm going to do, it may have even been longer than that. I'm going to go Gallagher Premiership. Premiership. I want to say it was like 2000 and maybe 22. Harlequins versus, I think it was Exeter Chiefs. We'll see whether or not this is the right game. I don't think so. What about 2021? I'm not sure if it was. It might have been that game in 2021, 38 points to 40. Oh, no, it might be actually this one. Where's this one from? All-time classic. They've got it on the Prem Rugby YouTube channel. I don't even know that was a thing. So it was the Prem final in 2020, 2021. 1 second. It might have been that game. But I remember sitting there and watching it. And it was just back and forth. I thought there was a game, though, that was about 44-42 back in the day. I used to support London Irish. Oh, was it the Wasps? They were a team back then, weren't they? 2023, what was the score in that game? No, it was cancelled. 2022? 24-29, wasn't that one? Might have been Harlequins versus Wasps back in 2021 on the 10th of May. End score 48 points to 46. That might have been the random game that I decided to watch. And I believe that was a last-minute try from Marcus Smith in that game that ended up with the Harlequins winning. I'm going to check because I feel like that was the game that I was thinking of this whole time. When did they play? Harlequins versus the Wasps. 1 second. We're still at halftime, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, so still plenty of time before they get back underway. We go here. We go here. Okay, it must have been the 2020-21 season. 48-46. Facts only. Marcus Smith scored in the 80th minute. It was that game. That was a great game. Anyone who hasn't watched that game, go back and watch it. I don't know if you can watch it anywhere, to be fair, because it happened 4 years ago. Or 5 years ago, almost. Oh, you've got there, Hamish, if the Springboks beat the All Blacks in the series this year, you've got to down a bottle of brandy, says Darren. And a Wasp went bust, unfortunately, says John. Yeah, which was a shame, because they actually had some really good players in their mix. They had Brad Shields back then, Jimmy Gothard also playing for them. They had Jacob Umunga, I believe, as well. Wasp had so many of England's stars across the years, says Jimbo. Bordeaux 62-18 to Bristol. Okay, so you're going a lot more one-sided at the end. Hopefully it doesn't quite get that far, though, because Bears still need a couple bonus points if they want to keep it close. Who do you think is going to be the next All Blacks head coach? I think they're going to give it to Jamie Joseph by the sounds of it, but we'll wait and see. Maybe he says, nah, I don't want it. I don't really remember that. I've had lots of fantastic games in the Prem, says Studs Race. Yeah, there's so many games that, in fact, that was the game, thinking back to it, there might have been a red card at the start of the second half for the Quins, which made it seem like they were completely going to be out of it. I'm going to look it up again. 1 second. But yeah, the end score, because of the Marcus Smith try, it was just back and forth the whole way through that second half. Yeah, there was. Was it Mark Brown or Mike Brown? I think it was Mike Brown, wasn't it? The Premiership Quins fullback. He got a red card at the start of the second half because he got a yellow card in the first half, I've just seen as well. So it was like upgraded to a red for the second when he got another yellow, I think. I think he might have kicked someone in the face for that game or something. Maybe. This is all just me trying to remember something that happened like 5 years ago. But I would say that these two sides are very close to making their way back out onto the field. I think all the games actually ran very smoothly for this first Champions Cup game of the day, and also the two Challenge Cup games that are also taking place. Off-topic question, what is your favourite movie of all time? Oh. What is my favourite movie? I feel like I don't really have a favourite movie, but I've watched a few movies a few times, if that makes sense. Like, I've watched, like, Elf a lot. I don't know if I call it my favourite movie, though, but I do enjoy watching it. It's one of those ones that come on most Christmases. Do quite like Step Brothers, to be fair. Not just because, of course, it's also Will Ferrell, but I feel like that's a bit of a classic one. Catalina wine mixer. Shawshank Redemption is my favourite. Says short videos, we're missing Kiwi clubs in Europe. Says Titanium. Awatana Umanga make a good All Blacks coach. He seems to be going all right at times for Moana Pacifica. So, maybe. Movie My Swedish Meatball, says Jack. Is that a movie? I've never heard of it. I've heard of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Quinn's got a red in that match, says Crossboarding. I can't even remember how many beers I had today, never mind which game I watched 5 years ago, says Ruby. It's slightly a concern, I would say, Ruby. You must be drinking them far too fast. You got to get like you have a fridge full of beer, I believe. So what you should do is have like a whiteboard on the front that you put a little line on each time you take one out. Don't lose your dinosaur, Hamish. Don't lose my dinosaur. We're talking about, that was a Step Brothers reference, isn't it? You had me stumped there for a big old second. Nothing beat Lord of the Rings trilogy. Says Titanium. Blues Brothers is my favourite film. And also, name it Benji, done that already. Says Ruby. Now, second half just about to get underway. Alice Skenge. Making his way out. European rugby is very entertaining. I think it's better, or because of the big crowds. Yeah, the crowd get well and truly into it. Like, even throughout this first half, yes, Step Bros reference. Says Studs Race. I need to watch that movie again. It's been a little while. Hamish hasn't even watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I haven't even watched one Lord of the Rings movie. Or The Hobbit, which is quite bad. I haven't watched a lot of movies. To be fair, we were going to do a thing how I was going to watch a movie a week and give a review on it, which makes me sad. Great movies, and like 80% of it was shot in New Zealand. Says Big Rig. And Godfather 1 and 2 for the win. And Benetton at 31-14, Leon at halftime. Says Crossboarding, and yeah, those two sides just about to get back underway. These two sides here, Bordeaux and Bristol, about to get there. The Hobbit movie, a bag, give it a miss. Read the book, though. Yeah, see, my problem is I don't read a lot of books, but I should. And that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to finish at least one book in 2026. Who knows, maybe I'll get through 2. How on earth has our favourite Kiwi commentator, I assume that's not watched Lord of the Rings. And also Hobbit is a fun story, a fun short fantasy story. Turning it into 3 movies across 9 hours is insanity, says Big Rig. Now running this one already is Lewis Rees-Zammit. They're inside of the 22 already here, the Bristol Bears, looking to start the second half in emphatic fashion with a quick-fire try. They use their backline now. Jansi Fans Rensburg straightens with his run, where he's dragged down by Palu once more. It would be like having a 7-hour rugby match, says Big Rig Joe. You should start up a reaction channel, get very profitable. If you get popular, says Studs Race. As in like reacting to movies or just reacting to things in general? It's a crime not to have watched Lord of the Rings, says Titanium. Is it on? It would be on Disney Plus, wouldn't it? Or would it? I don't actually know what it would be on. But if it's on something accessible in New Zealand, maybe I should watch it at some stage. I feel like it's got to the point, though, how it's been that long that I haven't watched it, that now it's kind of like, haha, I still haven't watched it. Like a running joke. But I just know I probably would be very lost throughout the whole thing. Are there books? You have to read the books first, right? Is that how it works? Or do you watch the movie, then read the books for more intel? It's like a bit of leg strapping going on at the moment for Pedro Rubiolo. Quick fire start to the second half, though, for the Bristol Bears, up until, once again, another era. Our live commentary at Kiwi Lads watching Lord of the Rings is coming soon. You don't need to read the books, says Big Rig. Well, that's good news, because I don't read a lot of books. Oh. Okay. So it was an injury for Tom Jordan to do with blood, but now it's a permanent change. Mike Brown says Sean O'Farrell. And the movie cuts off most of the extraneous lore. It does a good job of it. Says Big Rig. Rubiolo, he will continue in this contest. Now it's going to be the scrum. Use audiobooks. I actually love the idea of an audiobook. Just because I don't have to read it myself. Maybe having an audiobook, but having the book as well. Like you're back at school, you know how you used to have to read as a class and someone would do a sentence or a page. The books go wild for the lore of the world within universe songs and long rants about sacred trees and stuff. The movie cuts all of it. I want to see Louis Biel-Biarré and Louis Rees-Zammit chasing the ball. Hopefully we get to see it here. Although the one time that it almost could have happened, Louis Rees-Zammit was way out of position up the field from chasing his own kick. That one's gone into touch now. Good kick downfield from Bordeaux. The Bears have themselves another line out. Geez, how long is the audiobook for Lord of the Rings? Would take a while, says Big Rig. I've always wondered about that. Like, how long is an audiobook file for a book? Lord of the Rings is 36-hour audiobook. Wow. But yeah, because I've always wondered how long would it take for me to read a book compared to someone reading it to me. I feel like I'm slow with reading. Even though I read a lot of the comments quickly. Like, I have to reread books because I always forget what happens. Quite sad. But yet somehow I remember a premiership match that took place 5 years ago between Harlequins and the Wasps. It's here on YouTube, says Jimbo. We need 1.5 speed for that one, says Big Rig. That one's going to be kicked high from just outside of the 22 by Harry Randall. Mistake from Calaviti Ravovo before he is tackled by Pinot. You notice that a lot of things rhyme with Pinot in this game. Ravovo, Bordeaux. It seems to be every sentence that involves Pinot. I've already rhymed his name with something. Now Calaviti Ravovo, tackled by Buros. Now towards the sideline. Harry Randall searching for that ball, gives it off to Viliami Mata. That ball knocked out of his hands, picked up by Coleman. See if Stephen Fry's reading it. He's great. Says Big Rig. Now cross kick. Louis Biel-Biarré. It just goes into touch away from him. Another Bears line out. William Webb-Ellis has to be the favourite rugby player of all time. If it wasn't for him, we won't be here, says Ruby. Oh, who is your favourite rugby of all time and one right now? It's a good question. It's a hard question. So I feel like you got to narrow it down to like a player from a country. Makes it easier. Because there's too many players around the world. You know? Now thrown in, Pedro Rubiolo. It's gone over his head there. Now back in the hands of Bordeaux. They're 22 metres out from the Bristol Bears line with a great opportunity to secure that bonus point. Bears losing so much ball in contact. Yeah, it just keeps slipping out of their fingers, unfortunately. They've had probably about 10 knock-ons or handling errors throughout this game thus far. And Sarries and Glasgow could be a good game. I'm really disappointed that I'm pouring concrete during that match because that's probably the one that has potential of being just back and forth all throughout it. Or we might see Saracens not show up and it could end up being one-sided to Glasgow. But I do think it's going to be very close. Mathieu now moves forward once more. 5 metres out from the line, and it's another knock-on from the Bristol Bears. Oh, and that was a little bit high. From Gelibert by the looks of it. Oh, sorry, it was a knock-on from Bordeaux, my apologies. The other way around. Now, Randall. Breaking Bad is the best TV series I have watched. I haven't seen it, but it's got high praise. People do seem to enjoy it. But, yeah, I've never seen it. Unfortunately, Damien Pinot now running this one sideways, trying to pass it on the outside. Finds the hands of Louis Biel-Biarré. Puts in the fend on Louis Rees-Zammit. Got past him initially. It's the battle of Louis versus Louis. Both spelt the same way, said differently. Now back across. to Poirot. Pagerello still continuing in this game. Directional switch there and a drop ball from Bordeaux. This time it's Pinot. He does fumble that possession. Have you seen the Korean Rugby TC series yet? I have not. As it's a prequel of Better Call Saul, one of the best prequels ever made. And I back that. Breaking Bad is fantastic. So it's a prequel of Better Call... Or is it Better Call Saul? I don't think I've ever heard of that. Zombieland for me is one of my favourites. Says Sean. I would do anything to watch Breaking Bad for the first time, says short videos. You see, at some stage, I will have that opportunity. Game of Thrones, I've never seen it. They're both excellent. If you haven't seen The Wire, you should. What's The Wire? I haven't seen it. The Wire. I don't even know if I've heard of it. Is it like a new thing or an old thing? Penalties conceded 5 against Bristol Bears at the moment. Pinot looks to have lost interest in rugby for the last 2 weeks. He hasn't been as effective, has he? He hasn't had a huge amount of the ball compared to out on the other wing. They seem to be targeting going to Louis Bielbiere. Or at least they back him for any sort of foot race. Yet another crime committed and Breaking Bad lawyer, Sol. As Bryce, you've escaped the I'm Sol Goodman. Did you know you have rights, internet memes? Do you live in a cave, Hamish? The Wire is a police drama series. Okay. The Wire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad are often considered the trinity of great US drama. Haven't seen any of them. But I will work on it. At some point, we'll watch some things on TV. Now, line out throw here. I feel like I'm best to bring up the rugby before you guys find out everything that I haven't seen. This whole chat has become a movie chat. Says Dylan. 48 minutes in at the moment. Bordeaux are leading 17 points to 5. The line out throw, though, to the Bears round the halfway line, and they've lost the ball again at line out time. Although it's a knock on coming from the Bears. From Bordeaux that time. Now, Pinot, that one's going to be partially charged down and a knock on from Randall. No, referee says backwards. Okay, this is interesting. This game's kind of, I guess, taken its training wheels off per se, even though that was nowhere near what first half would be described as, but it's got pretty scrappy. The Shield, LA Police drama, also is absolutely brilliant. Says Duds Razer on 100% Watch You Do Breaking Bad review series. I feel like people would get frustrated with me doing that, though, because I probably would miss half the plots. Like, someone, I don't even know what happens in Breaking Bad. They've got a caravan or something, don't they? And they make some stuff that isn't supposed to be made. I think. Damn, I did it again. I jinxed you holding thumbs. I did not, says Ruby. Now the ball here for the Bristol Bears. 22 metres out from the line. Shifting it on once more to James Williams. You'd already get 100% spoiled in the comments, sadly, says Big Rig. I feel like Japan vs South Africa in the World Cup could make a good movie. As this English-style rugby for French-style rugby? Or sorry, is this English-style rugby versus French-style rugby? I don't think so. I think they're actually both playing just attacking rugby versus attacking rugby. It seems to be just that aggressive style of both of these teams. They're actually known as two of the more aggressive when it comes to their attack. The Bristol Bears now 5 metres out from the line. Hearing the Bristol chants from the crowd as well. They're close enough to the try line that if they get a couple good phases moving forward, an advantage there against Bordeaux. Now Randall has dropped that ball, so they'll go back for the penalty again. And The Walking Dead, as a reference, says Big Rig. I haven't seen The Walking Dead either. After Bordeaux, Northampton Saints play some good rugby, says Dennis. Except Jesse has fantastic teeth somehow, says Big Rig. And they're not out of reach yet. Oh, quick tap taken by Ogre. Getting close. Oh, his knees got bent the wrong way there. Now Harry Randall inside ball to Viliami Mata and Alice Genge. Did he get it down? Or has he lost the ball forward? It looks like a knock on. For Genji was through. Oh, he's saying he scored it though. I think they actually want to check this one perhaps. One more year until the Rugby World Cup, says a lazy bone. Yeah, we saw it earlier on, about 600 and something days away. We're going to see this for Genji. Does he get the grounding? I don't think he does. From that angle anyway, it did look like that ball was held up. Right, it's going to be the goal line dropout. By the sounds of it, as Emmett had a touch yet. He's had the ball a couple times in the first half, but hasn't really found his rhythm. He had one good line break though. I would give Walking Dead a miss. It starts off fantastic, but it's still going now. It's so bad now it hurts, says Big Rig. Knocked out of the hands by the post. Says, I'm nutty, and passed to Gens with forward, says Jimbo. You can see the disappointment on the face of the Bears there, knowing that that was their big chance to be able to strike right at the start of the second half. I wonder if the Northern European style club rugby was implemented to Super Rugby, says Dylan. Now Ellis Gens charging this one forward. He bumps into Bentame Funa. He's knocked that ball on. Referee says it goes backwards. He's been quite lenient with some of the drop balls throughout this contest. Now Randall, in fact, no, it's not even Randall who's in there at the moment. It's actually the replacement scrum half. They've got rid of Randall, and now it's Kieran Marmion. Low chopping tackle again. Bristol having a lot more of the possession throughout the second half thus far, but they have to turn it into points. Joe Owen, oh, that's an ugly collision there for Jean-Luc Deprez. Looks like he is going to stay down. Lavetti Revovo tackled low by Jalabert. And Maxell is good for 2 tries. Oh, you're saying Max Lahif off the bench for a double would make it very impressive indeed. Wide cut-out pass. Going out wide, the Bears. Oh, that's an awkward grubber. It was actually curving sideways. Cleaned up by Bordeaux. Now rolling this one back again. It will be Paige Rello. It's good to see that he is recovered as Pinot the fastest player. I'd say probably Biel Biarre would beat him in a foot race. Although Pinot is deceptively quick. He doesn't look like he'd be that quick for some reason, but he just is. You know? Oh, that one's going to go into touch. Bristol Bears kicking it out on the full. And it's going to be now the Bordeaux line-out. And talking about the fact that this game's starting to open up. Multiple opportunities for Bristol to get their attack going. And Zammit is faster, says Samuel. I think he was just picking out of the Bordeaux players, maybe. Or maybe it's in general. Now, Lemouth. Ready to throw it in once more. Lineouts have been a bit of a lottery throughout this game for actually both of these sides, but that one's claimed by Adam Coleman. Didn't Zammit get popped for drugs? I don't think so. I think you're thinking of... Who was that Welsh halfback? Was it... I don't want to say the wrong name. Just in case. It wasn't... Was it Kieran Hardy? That might be the wrong name, but it was a Welsh halfback who got pinged a while ago. The NFL really got to him. Says Big Rig. And the UBB players getting fatigued. They look a little bit tired out there. I think that Louis Biel-Biarre was the perfect example of that, how he looked puffed after 20 minutes. Oh, charge down from Calavente Ravovo. Kicks that ball forward. Oh, no, he's lost his footing. Jalabert will clean it up, puts the ball down, and it's a goal line dropout. I stood next to Pinot. He's a big lad. Says Fleshin. We see it there. Buros trying to kick that one downfield. Calavente Ravovo doing brilliantly initially, but then losing his feet from underneath him. It is slippery out there on the Ashton Gate turf. Now Lewis Reese Zammit. Here he comes at the defensive. Oh no, 2-man tackle on him. Drove him back 5. Wasn't quite his best run there for Reese Zammit. Now the Bears going to find their way through with Joe Owen. Back to the right again. Kieran Marmion getting involved now. Quick hands. Out to Noah Hewitt. One more try here for the Bears, and they are completely back in this contest. I'll take this. This is the full-time score. Bonus point win for Glasgow would be first. Says Kahu and Pinot like to play mobile chess a lot, apparently. Says I'm nutty. I'll never forget about that time Nicholas bumped Tuisova. This young Irish lad playing kicker for the New Orleans Saints. Now back to the left. Bristol still 22 metres out. Another tackle on Rhys Zammit. They just need that big line break. Little short pop pass, but it was forward. It's going to be Bordeaux's ball. Rhys Zammit himself. He is faster than ever. And definitely quicker than he was before his NFL stint. His weight now around 100 kg, says Samuel. Yeah, he has got plenty of pace when in that space. At the moment, they haven't really been able to free him up, though. There was also that looked like a clear knock on from Alice Genge, but they actually called it as a knock backwards. And then the full pass from Ogre. Trying to read that score in the other game at the moment. Benetton versus Lyon is sitting 14 points to 31 after 54 minutes of that contest. And then Exeter Chiefs versus Cardiff. The last I saw it was 19-0 for the Exeter Chiefs. And now it is 19-5. So Cardiff getting back into that game slightly. They are considered as $41 underdogs in that contest. Or at least I think they were at the... I assume that was at the start of the game, maybe. Seems a bit harsh against them, though. But 56 minutes through. And all that speed, and he can't score. Says Big Rig. I'm at Leinster at the Dublin airport. I'm 6 foot tall. I was dwarfed by the lads who look average on TV. And Arundel, BLBRA, and Rhys Zammit, who was faster. I'm not actually sure of their 100-metre times. Or their acceleration speeds, unfortunately. All very quick, though. Playing a little bit of the Macarena at the moment. So 24 minutes left. The thing is, this game's not over, but it could be if there's one more Bordeaux try. But for now, it's still giving them half a chance. Reece Webb, who got done for growth hormones in 2024. Yeah, not Kieran Hardy, I should say. Kieran Hardy, I assume, is completely clean. But yeah, Reece Webb, he was the one who I was trying to think of. Which, when you look at him, like, Webb's got arms that just didn't look like they should have been the size that they were. So it's probably understandable when they said, yep, you're pinged for something, and you don't really feel too surprised. That last 20 minutes is when Bordeaux score the most points, says I am nutty. Yeah, that's why Bristol Bears need to be the next side to score in this contest, or else they could be in trouble. Here comes Pedro Rubiolo. Karamamian calling his shots at the moment, just trying to get people in position to be able to kick this one downfield more than likely. Oh no, going back into the pocket, in fact, this time. Does give it to, would have been Sam Worsley. Let's go into touch. Although now the attacking chance 30 metres out from the try line. They are just showing there. That is Tom Jordan. So he hasn't got any blood coming out of the nose. They have fixed it all up. But I think maybe HIA might have been why they kept him off the field. I always laugh when I remember Brock Lesnar got popped for estrogen blockers. Then it was for health reasons. Yeah, Brock, you have way too much estrogen, says Big Rig. Hey, what was that? 83% success of something for Bordeaux compared to 44% for the Bears. I don't know what that stat was, but it sounds like it's pretty substantially in favour of Bordeaux. Big run from Ben Tamefuna. Now Paige Rello pops the ball off to Lemouth, captain of this Bordeaux side. And Mofana taken down before he was able to make any substantial meters. Will you be watching the Six Nations? We certainly will be. We'll also be doing the live streams on the channel. Kicked in behind him. Rhys Zammit just runs out of space. Throws the ball away as well. He's not happy about it. Okay. So Lewis Rhys Zammit, bit of attitude there to Nika Amuchakeli. So what happened there was he went into touch with the ball, threw it away. Referee says don't throw the ball away. And Lewis Rhys Zammit said, oh, but is it all right if I touch the ball, though? Am I allowed to touch it? So, yeah, he's not happy about it, Lewis Rhys Zammit, but it is going to be a 5-metre line out now for Bordeaux. Less than 3 weeks to go for the Six Nations, says Big Rig. And how bad do you think Wales will lose to England? I hope it's relatively close, but it possibly won't be. Who's your favourite to win the Six Nations? I actually, even though it's not a popular choice, I think England have a pretty good shot. The way that the draw is as well. Oh, nice pass across. Lamouth, only a metre out. He's going to be held up over the goal line. It's going to be the goal line dropout. Great defence from the Bristol Bears. Louis Biel, little weasel, looking for a pin. Says Jimbo. Okay, it's called as held up now. Who remembers the auntie? He also got banned. He did. He's back now, though, playing. Cameron Wacky, it was a bit of a set piece from Bordeaux. And England are favourites, but France, Scotland and Ireland could win. It's going to be good, says Big Rig. And Wales and Italy just there for moral support. I think that Italy and Wales are the sides that will determine the Six Nations. Because one of those two teams is going to beat someone they weren't supposed to, and then that will knock someone out of contention. And Scotland, lol, says I am nutty. Looks like Cameron Wacky is a bit of a sore back at the moment. Hasn't had a huge amount of time with the ball actually in hand throughout this game, Cameron Wacky. Bit of a surprising one. Oh, that's a mistake. A bit of a collision there coming from Bordeaux around the halfway line, but now back in the hands of Mathieu. Or to release. Scotland are not winning it, says Flesham, but once again, they could be a side that have a chance of causing an upset, knocking someone out. Maybe they can be the side that beat England to stop them from getting through. Now Pinot slaps it back onto the side of Mofana. Waiting for the penalty. They did not receive it. Now Ben Tamefuna, again with another carry for him. Begging for offside there by the sounds of it, the Bordeaux players. Don't underestimate Scotland. Oh, a little knock on though from Bordeaux. And Bristol will get themselves another scrum feed. They are hungry. They can absolutely beat any team on their best day. And Lewis Rees-Zammit mad because Louis Biel scored 2 tries and Scotland can beat England, says Jimbo. And England could win it. They have really improved the last 2 years as a French. I'd love for France to win it. But they have so many injuries at the moment, so not very helpful. Says the Lazy Bone. And I bet £50 Scotland would beat at least one of Ireland, England or France. It definitely can happen. Which is the slightly fun part of the competition, you'd have to say. The fact that there is the chance of an upset. 19 minutes left on the clock, though. And Bordeaux have made the change of their captain. Lamouth has gone off. And Jaden Sarr has made his way on. I mentioned Lyon have just scored themselves a try in that game up against Benetton. They currently sit 19 points to 31 down. And Scotland forever, says Dylan. But now 22 metres out from the line. Oh, free kick awarded to Bristol. Kieran Marmion. Let's take it quickly and kicks that one down towards the sideline. That's a good territory gain there for the Bears. Imagine if Bordeaux don't get the 4th try bonus point. I feel like you are not just imagining it. You are trying to talk it into existence, Kahu. You have said how much it would benefit Glasgow if that was the case. And at the moment, with the amount of errors that they have made inside of the Bristol Bears 22, they are struggling to get that last one. You can feel it in their vibes and body language. The other thing is Scotland thinks they can win. Italy and Wales do not, says Big Rig. I'm looking forward to hearing the Irish and Scottish national anthems again, says the Lazy Bones. Back across to the left-hand side. 22 metres out from the line. Told to use it here for Paige Rello. So digs around for the ball in the breakdown. Now kicks this one up high. So 12 points difference between Lyon and Benetton at this point in time. Big collision there. Another knock on from Bordeaux. It seems to be whoever's going from left to right out there on the field is the one who's dropping the ball consistently. I also do see that Cardiff got their try taken off them. They were 19-5 down. They're actually 19-0 down. As they haven't given them the try that they scored. The Bristol Bears score now, though. Could be very intriguing to what happens for the end of this contest. Ironic that it's raining because the second half has been a wash. It actually hasn't lived up to the first half, has it? At all. Which is slightly unfortunate, but if the Bears score and we go into the last 10 minutes with less than 7 separating the teams, it could be a very good finish. If Northampton Saints win by 50 against Cardiff, are they going to top the group? Says Dennis, 1 second, I'll go like that. Go like that as well. Advantage now for Bristol. Scrum Marmy and go short side. Calaveti Ravovo. Bit of space here for the Fijian. 10 metres out from the line. Bristol, they need to score soon, but this is the way that it sits at the moment. So if Bordeaux, let's say, were to win this game at the moment by this margin, their points differential would be plus 76, I believe it would be, which would mean that Northampton would have to win their game by about 43 points or so. Now Alice Genge getting only 5 metres out from the try line. Big opportunity now for the Bristol Bears to strike first in the second half. It is quite surprising to say we've had 24 minutes of action in the second 40 minutes. And no one has scored yet. Now getting very close to the try line. He tried to score it. Janse van Rensburg. They've said it is a try. It kind of looked like he knocked it on. But I think that might have been after the grounding. And we're home to Wales and Scotland. So we won't get those two anthems at their best. So here's Jimbo. And for the Six Nations, who has most home games against the other big two, I think England do, don't they? I've actually forgotten that draw. We're going to see the replay now. Oh. Janse van Rensburg may have grounded that one short of the line and knocked it on. Does he touch the line? Oh, tell you what. I think that one needs to be looked at again because I don't think that's a guaranteed try there from the Bristol Bears. That angle looks all right. That angle looks like he gets there. The referee asking whether or not they want to check it. And the TMO official says no. Bordeaux are asking the question. The Portier has gone up to the referee and said, listen, mate, that looked a little bit short. Okay, they're going to stick with the on-field decision because that was given as a try. It means that it is a try. TMO wants a dramatic ending. On-field is key, says Kahu there. And also, nope, short, but ref said try. So you have to disprove it and get in there on the line for me, says Studs Razier. One of the angles made it look like it was on the line. The other angle made it look like it was short. This angle doesn't look the best. Makes it look not quite there. Tell you what, he's got a bit of a ripped up forearm, Janse van Rensburg as well. I do see there, but he's kicked off long for Jalibert there. And now the Bristol Bears with the ball in hand. That's a huge hit from Ben Tamefuna, forcing Janse van Rensburg backwards. Bordeaux charged down the kick, but the score now sits 12 points to 17. And a penalty to Bordeaux. Right. Now they have a decision to make. Do they chase the 3 points to get an 8-point lead, or do you kick for the corner and chase that bonus point? They are taking on the shot at the post. I'm so invested in this game right now. Come on, Bristol, says Kahu. I think France are home to Ireland and England. So have an edge, says Jimbo. And their last angle looks short, says Studs Race. Yeah, one of them didn't look great. The other angle made it look like he got it down. But the on-field decision, given as a try, so that is the one that does reign supreme. Oh, Mathieu Jalibert does kick that one straight down the middle, and that will make the score now 20 points to 12. The way that it sits currently, it would mean that Bristol get no points from this game on the table. All right, time is off, and there is going to be a change here. Just the 13 minutes on the clock. I will mention the next game that we are covering on the channel is at 4:10 a.m. New Zealand time, so that is in 40 minutes time, and that is between La Rochelle and the Harlequins. Salisi Reasi now onto the field, though, so that is fantastic news. That is not a great kick from the Bristol Bears. They have kicked it dead from the halfway line. It's going to be a scrum now for Bordeaux on the halfway. What injury does Luku have? I'm not actually sure what his injury is, but he's been out for a little while, unfortunately, for Bordeaux. Though, to be fair, Paige Rello has done very nicely in that number 9 jersey as the fill-in. Reasi, says Dylan. And please, this be the final score. And Bears have had a stack of possession this half, says Studs Race. Yeah, and Bordeaux have had a huge amount of handling errors. It's as if whoever's going from right to left will have the ball more, and whoever's going from left to right will drop the ball more. Seems like it's a complete switch of what we saw in the first half, but Benetton, I see, have just scored their replacement hooker. That should secure the game for them. It's in 43-19 ahead over Lyon now. I didn't see why was that penalty given, says Fleshin. It was for... There was a charge down, and then I think it was maybe... What happened in the breakdown? Was it side entry? maybe, or in off the feet, I think it might have been. But yeah, there was a charge down of the kick that the Bears went for, but I'm not sure what actually happened in that breakdown. But it was some sort of breakdown penalty. He lay on the ball. Okay, so not rolling away for that one. And not releasing, says I am nutty. Now, Joey Carberry to feed this ball in, or is it still Paige Rello? I'm trying to look from a distance. I think it is actually still Paige Rello. Referee saying we're not stable, so we're going to go again. Ellis Genge, Laheath, and also Jaden Sarr. They are the front row. Oh, sorry, I've combined the two. Laheath, Ellis Genge, and also Ogra are still the front row for the Bristol Bears. So just that one change of Laheath. But Genge, you'd expect to play close to the full 80 minutes in this contest. They've got Jimmy Halliwell as the other option. Okay, says Flesh in there. Laheath only brought with a six-pack. Says I am nutty. Now, ball goes in. Bordeaux. This was a bit of a gift from the Bristol Bears to give them the scrum on the halfway line from kicking the ball dead off of the kickoff. Now, short side. Oh, that was close to the Bristol Bears winning the penalty. You could hear someone out there on the field screaming for us. Alessi Reasi showing off his stepping. Passes one more to the left-hand side. Grubber attempted there by, I think that was the number 20 for Bordeaux going for the kick. I don't know whether or not he's the man to be doing it. Does lose them a few metres. Now the Bears nicely taken by Calaveti. Ravovo gets a big cheer from the crowd as he starts to step around. That's an ugly high tackle there from Letou. Came in with a bit of force as well. This might turn into a yellow card. Now, going off to the right-hand side for the Bristol Bears. Laheath involved in the back line there. Now going to Lewis Rees-Zammit. He's knocked it on. They'll go back for the penalty. Looks like Rees-Zammit may have hurt his knee as well here. He is staying down just at this moment. We see it, Calaveti Ravovo, yeah, swinging arm, unfortunately, from Letou. It actually did look quite bad. The replay of that one. The crowd are asking for a yellow card. I'm not sure whether or not they will receive it. It's just going to remain as a penalty for now. I'm literally standing so excited. Come on, Bristol, please. Says Kahu. Now, kicking this one for the touchline, the Bristol Bears. They are down by the 8 points, so they do need at least one more try if they want to secure themselves the victory. But it is going down to the wire. Once again, we've managed to pick the closest game of the 3 matches taking place to cover. The only one of the Champions Cup on at the moment. The ref actually got stabbed during a game in Georgia. Says I am nutty. Yeah, the stuff that refs have to deal with is pretty brutal, to be fair, but that's one of the more brutal occasions. Now, Ogra, lineouts won 11 by Bordeaux, 4 by the Bristol Bears. Their lineout accuracy has been a little bit low throughout this game, and that one is just grabbed by the Bears. A bit of a fumble in the air, but managed to regain before touching the ground. Now, this rolling ball has gone really awkward. I think Bears actually ended up twisting fully round in a 180. Coleman trying to defend it, but now it's in the hands of Ravovo. Still the 8 minutes left. Told to get their hands out of it there for Jaden Sarr, and that will be the penalty advantage against them. Gives the Bears a gifted 3 if they want it, but I feel like they have to keep on attacking. Was expecting a different type of game. Really enjoyed how tight this is. Says Studs Race. Yeah, it's kind of, I'll be honest, the first half flew by and was like extremely entertaining. The first 25 minutes of the second half, it felt like we were at a standstill, but now, this last 15 minutes, there's a big chance. Nice step on the outside, goes to Lewis Rees-Zammit. He tried to flick pass round his back, goes into the hands of Biel Biarray. It's going to be no advantage. They will go back now for the penalty in favour of the Bears, but that was another chance to be able to score that. They just didn't quite get that last pass that they needed. Clock is ticking down now quickly. 7 minutes now left. I hope Ogra's nickname is Shrek. Says, I am nutty. That sounded like a very Irish accent there. That might have been Joey Carberry having a chat to the referee. See it there, the step from Nick Heward. Or Noah Heward, I should say. Get the ball in the field of play. Okay, number 4, Bordeaux, is off after the kick, so that is going to be Boris Palu. Make his way off, and Bordeaux, will they mind this? Bristol are going for the 3 points here. And Bordeaux very uncomfortable right now, and Bristol 17, Bordeaux 20. Time for Zammit to make an impression, but that kick has gone over. And now makes the score 15 points to 20. Still in favour of Bordeaux. Now we've got to remember, the Bristol Bears, if they were to lose by this margin, they get themselves a bonus point from this game. So I feel like maybe that is a little bit of the thinking of Pat Lam. Try and get that qualification a little bit higher in this group. And also it gets them back within the 7 for if they do want to score themselves a try late in this contest. They would have a kick to win. It's because of the rain. Says short videos. Well, they've played in rain before, Bordeaux. Oh, drop ball from Jancy van Rensburg. That is such a massive mistake. After just getting back to 5 points down, drops that ball cold inside of the 22, only about 10 metres out from the line, and Bordeaux are now in the perfect position to be able to get their attack going. We see it there, just straight through the hands. And I said there, it is uncharacteristic for Jancy van Rensburg. And well, says Studs Rays, yeah, that is a coach killer right there. Definitely if Bordeaux managed to score themselves this try, as that would give them the full 5 points from this contest, and Bristol would walk away with 0 if that next try was then scored. And beep beep for a hat-trick, says I am nutty. There's a decent chance, although I'm picking Cameron Wacky. 4.5 minutes remaining. I don't actually know if he's on the field anymore. I think he is. He was chasing after that ball. I'll go Cameron Wacky to score the last try of the game to win them the contest. Free kick goes the way of Bordeaux. They can't take a quick tap, but they will take their time here. This is Ammit's first game. Abaki's going to be off, says Fleshin, and Bears throw it away, says Samuel. Right, it looks like the quick tap is about to take place, and it seems like Ben Tamefuna is the man they're going to throw at the opposition. Sitting 10 metres out from the try line. The aerial camera, the way that it is, it made it seem like they were a lot further out than the actual metres that they are. Now stepping around the side by Johnny Gray. Late replacement in this contest. They've just mentioned too, Bristol 22, Bordeaux 20. So you're going with the last minute try. See, I think that Bristol, if they can stop Bordeaux from scoring now, they would have done extremely well, because this is the big chance for a clinical side like Bordeaux to once again show that clinical nature. They haven't been able to do it throughout the second half, only scoring 3 points thus far. Now 5 metres out from the try line, just using their forwards. That's why I think Wacky's got a decent shot of being the man that scores it. Around the side again. Again, big collisions taking place. Oh, there's an advantage now against the Bristol Bears for being offside. Cameron Wacky, is he going to carry this one? Ball rolls back. He passes it off to the left-hand side. Big 2-man tackle. Driving defence from Bristol. Ball's still going to be there. They'll wrestle for it in the breakdown. And this is now another penalty going the way of Bordeaux. They can take the 3 and get back to 8 points ahead. Or they could. Okay, the shot is called. Clinical my butt. They keep dropping the ball. I think it's covered in butter, says Big Rig. Usually, I should say, a clinical team. Though they haven't really had a huge amount of opportunities inside of the 22 throughout the second half. In the first half, anytime they visited that 22, they were more likely than not to score. Go for the 3, please, yes. Yeah, it does seem like they are taking on the 3 points here. So it does favour the Glasgow Warriors, who now they have to score themselves the extra bonus point tries too. Do they share a ground with City? I believe so. They have got the football markings on the field. UBB, very erratic form this year, says Chris. And isn't it incredible that a side with erratic form can still find themselves sitting fourth. Most sides, if they're erratic, they'll be about 8th, 9th in the table. Crowd booing that one with how long it's taken for Jalabert. He's missed. I think, yes, it would have been handy to be ahead by the 8, but I think that maybe they should have just pinned the ears back and tried to stall some more time. Go for the try. They need the bonus point. If they want that top spot, which they have been talking about the whole way through, they do need one more try in this contest. They've got 90 seconds, in fact, less than that, 70 seconds to be able to get it. And Pinot very quiet today. Yeah, hasn't had a huge amount of opportunity. Good pace shown from Paige Rello. Louis-Pierre Biarray scores his hat trick. And that is the try for Bordeaux that gets them over the line for the bonus point. They're going to check this one just to make sure. But it turns out that a missed kick actually favoured them after the mistake for the Bristol Bears. The try is awarded. They have said it is good. I called it, says I am nutty in there as well. The left winger, the pace. It looked like Paige Rello was going to be able to break through, but he actually overran the ball when trying to run through and get it. It was slapped back initially by Noah Heward, and then from there, just managed to avoid hitting Paige Rello, or else it would have been called as accidental offside. Not the best game from either team, to be honest, says Big Rig Joe. Okay, they just want to double check it. BLBRA ground that? It looked like it was very close to the ground, but it looked like it actually just slid along. Oh, a little bit of push and shove here in the Lyon versus Benetton game. Someone's actually just been taken down. There's a bit of passion out there on the park, but that one has gone over from Bordeaux, and that is the full-time siren. 27 points to 15. They get themselves the bonus point win, Bordeaux. And that will sit them at the top of this table and potentially as the number 1 seed heading into the round of 16. Both teams have South African players in their sides. Shout out to South Africa. CS Gasper and great shout, Nutty. And also about the not being the best game. Yeah, I think the rain impacted it a little bit. Not so much in the first half, although we did see a lot of handling errors from the Bristol Bears. Ooh, says Kahu. Yeah, that was the worst case scenario for yourself as a Glasgow supporter. Now it just means that Glasgow have to win their game by about 60 points. Enjoyable stream again. Says I am Nutty, and we are back in only about 28 minutes' time. That is going to be for the next contest taking place between La Rochelle and the Harlequins. I'm hoping that's going to be a good game. Very hard to tell what type of Quinn side will be showing up, but we will be here covering it on the channel. But thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all for the next one.